Right, let's start then. So today we're basically starting with a new module, that is the grammar module, right? Now, in your CAT, you will not, last, I don't know, 7-8 years almost, grammar has not been tested directly in the CAT at all. Okay, so it's basically just consists of reading comprehension and verbal reasoning questions, which are like jumbled paragraphs, summary based questions out of context. Okay, so there is absolutely no grammar in the CAT. Okay, but every other exam that you will take will definitely have grammar questions, right? But a CAT keeps changing every year. Okay, every year, मतलब अभी पिछले 4-5 साल से, like I said, it hasn't changed. But they love to spring surprises. Okay, so it is possible that they can bring back grammar again. Okay, so we need to be prepared for all eventualities, number one. And number two, whatever other exams that you're going to appear for will definitely have grammar based questions. Now, grammar, so if today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting with very basic topics like articles, nouns, pronouns. So aap logon ko, some of you might feel ki, oh, ye to school level stuff hai. But in the exam, they do not test your knowledge of articles or nouns or pronouns in a direct way, like the way do in your in the school. They will test it in a different kind of a way, and that is why we need to revise all these concepts and know them pretty well. Okay, they will test your knowledge in the form of sentence correction. Okay, so what that means is that so there are different variations to this that we'll see as we do the exercises. Okay, one is that they give you a sentence and a part of the sentence is underlined. Now the underlined part probably has an error in it. Okay, and then you're given 4 options, so you have to look at the option and find out which option corrects the error which is there in the original sentence. It is possible that there might be no error, so usually a repetition of the underlined part is also there, so you have to look for that option, right? Or they can give you the same sentence written in 4 different ways. Okay, and then you have to select which one is the grammatically correct one. Third way, that what they can do is that they can give you a sentence and they can divide it into 4 parts. Okay, and you have to find out which part has an error in it. उसमें correction नहीं करना है, you just have to find out which part has an error. Or they might say कि which they might just give you 4 sentences and they'll say which they can be totally different sentences, and then they might ask, okay, which sentences are correct or which sentences are incorrect. So you have to read the directions. So these are the different ways in which your knowledge of grammar will be tested. Sometimes, especially if you're taking SNAP for symbiosis, they and a couple of times in NMAT also I've noticed this, is what they do is that they will give you a sentence and they will underline a word in that, and then the options mein se aapko identify karna hai ki, okay, is this an adverb, is this an adjective, is this a noun, or is it a preposition? Okay, so in that sense you need to be able to identify these different parts of speech. All right, so today I'm going to so before, this is how I go about my grammar classes. I will start with sentence correction only after we've finished, the basic articles and parts of speech. Once we've done that, then we start with the typical, the kind of questions that you will be encountering in these examinations. Okay, so today I'm going to be covering 3 topics. Okay, first is articles, then nouns and pronouns. Let's hope that we are able to finish all these 3 topics. Okay, so let's start with articles. Okay, so can you tell me what are articles? Can anybody tell me? What are articles?
The.
Yes. The and?
And
and the. All right, so Shushri's also sent me a message. And the. Okay, now articles, where do we place articles? Where do we put the articles in a sentence?
Before noun.
Before nouns. Okay, all right. And these 3, and the, basically they can be classified into 2 types, right? So can you tell me what are these 2 types? Like and are one type and the is another type. Any idea?
Definite and indefinite.
Definite and indefinite. Somebody's written direct and indirect. That's not correct. Direct and indirect nahi hoga. It will be definite and indefinite articles, right? So definite, which one is the definite article? The. And indefinite is obviously a and an. So why, Shruti, why are they, why is the definite article and why are a and an indefinite?
Because the talks about any specific noun.
Okay.
And a and an can be abstract, like a book and the book. So for the book, we know which book are we talking about.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So basically, when I say I saw a girl, right? I'm not talking about any definite particular girl. It could be any girl, isn't it? But then the second sentence I say the girl was wearing a red dress. Now, which girl? The girl I saw, right? So second sentence mein I'm talking about someone specific, right? Definite. That is why I put the before it. In the first sentence, I'm talking, it could be any girl, right? So that is why I say a girl. So that is why in a and an are called as indefinite articles and the is called as a definite article. Now, before I share my screen with you, tell me what is the difference between a and an? Where do we use an and where do we use a?
Before vowels, we use an.
Words with starting with vowels.
Words which start with vowels. Sure.
Sir, words with
And with
that
sound.
vowel sound.
Vowel sound. Okay, good. So with what are the vowel sounds? Can you tell me?
A, E, I, O, U.
The A, E, I, O, U to vowels हैं, right? I'm talking about the sound. So जैसे I don't say an university, I say a university, जबकि वो U से शुरू हो रहा है, isn't it?
Yes.
हाँ. So what are the vowel sounds? So see, many times, you know, in school, even I was taught in school कि vowels के सामने आपको an लगाना है और consonants के सामने आपको a लगाना है, right? But that's not the correct rule. It all depends on the sound. Okay, so if the sound is a consonant sound, then we would put a. If it is a vowel sound, we will put an, right? So I just give you an example of university. U से शुरू होता है. U is a vowel, but the sound which comes out when I say U, your sound, it's a consonant sound. It's not a vowel sound, right? So that is why I will say a university. But when I say an uncle, uncle is also starts with U, but the sound that's coming out is a, which is a vowel sound. So that is why an uncle, right? Now, how do we know which one is a consonant sound and which one is a vowel sound? Does anybody know? Can somebody enlighten us? Okay, so I will ask you to jog your memories. And आपने सबने हिंदी तो सीखी होगी स्कूल में, right? So हिंदी का जब अल्फाबेट हम शुरू करते हैं तो स्वर होते हैं शुरू में, right? कौन से? अ, आ, ई, ई,
U, A, I, O, A.
yes. So ये जो सारे स्वर के जो sounds है ना, they are all vowel sounds. ठीक है? So that is why I say an uncle क्योंकि अ sound आ रहा है, right? I say an MLA. First sound क्या आ रहा है? ए. MLA, right? But I say a mother, right? In the same way I say an egg, EGG, egg. But a European, क्योंकि sound क्या निकल रहा है उसमें? य sound निकल रहा है, ठीक है? So I say a hotel, but I say I'll be an hour late. R, a sound, isn't it? So these are the vowel sounds. You need to keep this in mind and relearn the rule that you've learned in school. Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen and then we will discuss other rules of articles, right? Okay, so like I said, articles can be divided into two types. You have the indefinite articles and you have the definite articles, right? So indefinite articles are a and they are always used in front of singular countable nouns. Now, singular matlab one, you know that. So if I say a boy, I cannot say a boys, right? Now, countable nouns are those which I can count on my fingers. Right? So, for example, I can count boys, one boy, two boys, three boys. I can count oranges, one orange, two orange, right? But can I count milk? So that no, I cannot, right? So I can. So that's why I cannot say give me a milk. but I can say give me a glass of milk because glass is countable. Yes. In the same way, I can say sugar is not countable. I cannot count sugar, right? So, give me a spoon of sugar, basically, right? So that is why always in front of singular countable nouns. Okay. Now, definite articles will be used, that is the will be used before singular countable nouns. It will be used before plural countable and uncountable nouns. मतलब सबके सामने use हो सकता है the. ठीक है ना? So I can say the boy, the orange, the milk, the sugar, सब बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है? Any doubts here so far? Okay. Now the difference between a and an. So like I said, I will say a mother because the sound that comes out is ma. But I'll say an MBA or MLA because the first sound that's coming out is eh, right? A university, a union, a unicorn. But I'll say an uncle because the sound that comes out is a. A European, your sound aa raha hai. That is why consonant. An egg. A hotel, an hour. And a 1 rupee note. So were sound is a consonant sound. So therefore a 1 rupee note. Okay? So clear so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Now, let's look at other uses of the definite article the, right? So the first instance where we use the is, like I told you, when we're talking about something specific. Okay. Second situation where we use the is when we are talking about, normally हम लोग अपने the जो है proper noun मतलब name of a particular person or place के सामने हम नहीं use करेंगे, right? So I cannot say the Anubha or the Shruti. Okay, but if I'm talking about a specific case, right? So the Shruti that you met yesterday is in my class. राइट तो एक पर्टिकुलर श्रुति की बात हो रही है इसलिए मैं उसके नाम के सामने द लगा सकती हूँ अदरवाइज मैं द नहीं लगाऊंगी राइट बट इफ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट बिग वाटर बॉडीज राइट सपोज ऐसे गंगा सो उसके सामने हमेशा हम द लगाएंगे राइट द गंगा द यमुना द Atlantic Ocean. If I'm talking about big mountain ranges, I will always put the in front of it, right? The Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes. Big deserts, the Sahara Desert, the Thar Desert, right? Then novels big epics like the Gita, the Bible, the Quran, right? The Ramayana, the Mahabharata. Otherwise, आप proper noun के सामने the नहीं लगाएंगे, right? We will always put the in front of musical instruments. So I know how to play the piano or the violin. Okay? So you need to put the always in front of them. Also, if I say the tiger is becoming extinct, does it mean that one tiger is dying?
No, ma'am.
No, it means the entire species, right? So whenever I put the in front of the rose, if I say I like the rose, right? It doesn't mean one single rose, it means the entire class. So when we put the in front of a noun like that, in front of any name of an animal or plant or something, then we're talking about the entire species. The only exception is man. So if I say man is destroying the earth, so man means the entire human race. I will not say the man, I'll just say man. Okay, right? Let's look at these rules again. So when we talk about a particular person or thing, so the book you want is out of print, right? A particular book. So when a singular noun is used to represent a whole class. So like I said, the rose is the sweetest of all flowers, right? So I'm just using one single rose to represent the whole class. Okay. The cow is a useful animal. That means all cows, right? The entire species. The only exception is man and woman. So when I want to talk about the whole human race, I will just say man. I will not say the man. Okay. Now, before some proper nouns like oceans, the Atlantic, I told you already this, right? Rivers, canals, deserts, groups of islands. So the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, right? Mountain ranges, we bata diya, certain books like the Gita. Then before names of unique things, right? The sun, the earth, the moon, the sky, right? The ocean, these are unique things. So unke samne hamesha the lagega. Also we will use the in front of superlatives and ordinals, right? Superlatives क्या होते हैं?
Biggest, goodest.
Yes, right. Superlative degree in adjectives, right? So the biggest, the tallest, the most intelligent. Okay. And ordinals क्या होते हैं? Ordinal numbers?
First, second, third.
First, second, third, right? So we always put the in front of that also. So the best, the tallest, the first chapter, the ninth chapter, the first in the class, right? Before musical instruments, the piano, the guitar, the violin. ठीक है? The का usage सबको clear है so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's, yes. Okay. Now let's go on to the uses of indefinite articles, right? Indefinite article ya an also means one, right? So can I have an apple? Matlab one apple, right? Or if I say not a single word was said, like nobody said a word, matlab one word also. Okay, so it gives out the meaning of the meaning of number one basically. Then secondly, articles and an is also not used in front of proper nouns normally, but there are a few exceptions, right? So for example, suppose I go to, suppose I go to Navya's place, right? And I ring the bell and her mom opens the door and, I say, I want to meet Navya. So she's like, okay, who are you? So I'll say, okay, I'm Ruchi, but she doesn't know who Ruchi is, right? So she goes and tells Navya, हिंदी में अगर होगा तो क्या बोलेगी, कोई रुचि आई है मिलने के लिए, right? या फिर इंग्लिश में she'll say some Ruchi has come to meet you, or a Ruchi has come to meet you, right? So when we put a in front of somebody's name when we do not know who we are talking about and we want to say koi, some person has come to meet you. Okay, so in that particular case we can use an indefinite article in front of somebody's name. Second situation in which we can use in front of somebody's name is, for example, if you're watching TV, a cricket match, okay, and India's losing, and the commentator says, oh, we need a Dhoni or we need a Tendulkar to help us win this match. So does it mean that Dhoni or Tendulkar should come back from retirement and start playing? What does it mean?
Ma'am, it's a generalization. Someone who plays like Kohli.
Yes, somebody who has the qualities of Dhoni, right? So when we universalize somebody's qualities, that time we use in front of their name. Okay? We will never use indefinite articles in front of meals. Okay, unless and until, so I will not say I had a breakfast. No, I had breakfast, right? I had a heavy breakfast हो सकता है क्योंकि उसके पहले अगर adjective लगा दिया तो, otherwise you will not put indefinite articles in front of that, right? So let's look at some of the rules. So you first uses numerical sense of 1. So not a word was said. 12 inches makes a foot. A foot matlab one foot. So in the vague sense of a certain or some. So a Rahul had called. So a certain person named Rahul, right? Now, to single out an individual as a representative of a class, right? So a student should obey his teacher. So it doesn't mean that just one student should obey. It means all students should obey their teachers, right? Then to universalize some qualities, like I said, we need a Tendulkar to help us win this match. A Tendulkar basically will mean a great player, right? Now, omission of articles. Where will we not? So I've already discussed it while we were discussing the uses, but we'll just see if I've missed out something. Yes. Now, before abstract nouns and uncountable nouns. Okay. Now, abstract nouns. So I have this pen. It's concrete, right? I can see it. I can feel it. I can hold it. But can I hold friendship or honesty? नहीं ना? So ये सब concepts जो होते हैं वो abstract nouns होते हैं, right? So abstract nouns के सामने आप कभी भी articles नहीं लगेगा. So I will say honesty is the best policy. Okay, honesty कभी भी नहीं हो सकता है, but कभी-कभी the लग सकता है. The honesty shown by Ankit was exemplary. So एक specific situation की बात कर रहे हैं तो फिर the लग सकता है, नहीं तो नहीं. Yes, somebody wants to ask something.
Sorry, Ruchi. I just joined. I had some problem with like joining. Some issues.
Yeah. Okay, but I cannot repeat the entire thing right now. May I know who's speaking?
Shubham Umre.
Okay, Shubham. So maybe, when I take this class again, the first half an hour, maybe you can attend, because half an hour is a lot of time. I mean, I cannot repeat that, right?
Yeah.
So just follow from whatever we are doing right now. Okay.
Okay.
I'm discussing articles. Okay. And the. Right.
Okay.
So before abstract nouns and uncountable nouns, right? So uncountable nouns like sugar and all, उसके सामने भी हम लोग तो कभी भी use नहीं करेंगे, right? Sugar is bad for your teeth. I will not say the sugar is bad for your tooth. Sugar is bad for your teeth, right? But कोई specific चीज के बारे में ना, can you pass me the sugar जो वहां पर रखी हुई है, right? तो फिर बात अलग है, but otherwise आप कभी नहीं use करेंगे. Before proper nouns, that I've already told you. Before names of meals used in a general sense, right? So even I'll say कि we've been invited for dinner. For the dinner नहीं होगा, for dinner, right? But the dinner prepared by his mom was delicious. Specific बात हो रही है तो फिर the डाल सकते हैं आप. Dinner is ready, like for example, okay? Now, the next rule that I'm discussing is very important, so please pay attention. It's called as the primary purpose rule, right? Now, here I have these 5 sentences. First is, she was admitted in hospital. Her house is next to the hospital. The children are jumping on the bed. The children go to bed at 10 p.m. and she goes to school every day. Now, you'll see कि कभी द लगा है, कभी नहीं लगा है. So, hospital में first sentence में द नहीं लगा है, second में लगा है, right? Bed में एक sentence में लगा है, एक में नहीं लगा है, right? So, basically, let me explain what we're doing here. This is called as the primary purpose rule. Now, some things like hospital, bed, school, church, office, marketplace, right? All these things come under the primary purpose rule. So they've been built for a primary purpose. So hospital's primary purpose is what? What is hospital's primary purpose? What is the primary purpose? Yes? To treat you when you're ill, right? Okay, so that is the primary purpose. Now, if in the sentence the word has been used for the primary purpose, we will not put the in front of it, right? So when I'm saying she was admitted, so obviously I was admitted because she was not well, for treatment, right? So the primary purpose of hospital is being served here, so that is why I will not put the before it. Okay, but when I say her house is next to the hospital, I'm not talking about the primary purpose at all. I'm treating the hospital as a building, as a landmark, right? So that is why I can say that her house is next to the hospital. Third, the children are jumping on the bed. Now, bed, primary purpose is sleep and rest, but they're jumping. So that is why primary purpose serve nahi ho raha hai, so I will put the. But the children go to bed at 10 p.m. So go to bed is a phrase which means to go to sleep, right? So we will, primary purpose is being served, so I do not put the in front of it. She goes to school every day. So either she is a teacher or she is a student. So primary purpose serve ho raha hai. So that is why we will not put the in front of it. But I can always say I pass the school on my way to work. So the school, then it becomes like a landmark or just a building. Okay, is this clear? This is quite important.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Then, if everything is clear and there are no doubts, let's do one exercise. All right. This is not the type of question format that you will get in your exam. Okay, but this is basically to strengthen your concept. Okay, so insert a, an, or the wherever required. If no article is required, write none. Okay, so these are 9 sentences. Just do it quickly in 5 minutes, right? Let me know once you're done.
Then month.
All right, so let's see. First one. Can you tell me?
An hour.
Okay, and what else?
The
Ma'am, it
alarm.
should be set
The
back
alarm.
the alarm. It is an hour early.
Yes, set back the alarm. It is an hour early. Very good. Then second one.
A creature.
No, no, no. So whenever you have this phrase, na kind of, sort of, तो उसके बाद में a नहीं आएगा, right? So what kind of creature is that? There is no article required in that particular sentence. Okay. Then third one.
Ma'am, no article
One.
No
required.
article.
No
Required.
article. Obese men are prone to hypertension. So even hypertension, any diseases or anything, we do not put any articles in front
Ma'am,
of that
can't
also.
be obese man because we are talking of collective obese man.
No, because see, we're saying men, right? Yash,
Okay, okay. Ma'am.
men likha hua hai, right? So obese men are prone to hypertension, right? Then honesty remains good policy.
A good policy.
A good
A good
policy.
A good
Very
policy.
good. Then fifth one,
The Ganges is a holy river.
the Ganges is a holy river. Very good. Sixth one,
The
Life in the
Andamans.
Life in the
life in the Andamans has never been so good. So whenever we're talking about islands, we put the in front of it, right? Then seventh one,
The poor
The
are
poor.
always at a disadvantage.
yes. Now see, poor is actually an adjective. It's not a noun, right? So what happens is if we put the in front of an adjective like poor, we're talking about the entire group again. So I said the poor are always at a disadvantage. That means all poor people, right? In the same way, the rich, the handicapped, the disabled. Okay. So the plus adjective means the entire group. Okay. Then eighth one.
He's not an honorable man.
Not
He's
honorable
okay.
man.
Not an honorable man. Very good. And ninth one.
I'm
I'm
afraid I
afraid I can't remember the exact date of the show.
I am afraid I can't remember the
the
exact date of
the show.
the show. Okay, very good. All right. Any doubts here?
Ma'am, why we have used that the exact date of show? Why we can't use an exact date?
Basically, we're talking about the date. An exact date कैसे होगा? इसमें noun is basically date, right? Okay, exact is an adjective which we are describing it. So I can't remember an exact date नहीं होता है because it's not. Actually, that's a strange question. Nobody's ever asked me that. An exact date नहीं होगा. The exact date of the show because we're talking about a particular thing, right? Exact की बात हो रही है. An exact कभी भी नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि exact का मतलब ही particular होता है. Right? Who asked me that question? Akash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, हाँ. So exact का मतलब ही particular होता है, right? So that is why an exact कभी भी नहीं use होता है, कभी भी नहीं होता है. The exact होता है हमेशा. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at the next set. ये तो orally करते हैं. Insert an appropriate indefinite article before the following words. So indefinite basically means a or an, right? So tell me, university के सामने क्या आएगा? A university.
A university.
Second,
An uncle.
an uncle. Okay, third one.
MBA graduate.
AMBA graduate.
No,
An
no,
MBA.
no.
DMBA.
Okay, okay.
An
one at a time.
MBA.
An
MBA.
MBA graduate because the sound that comes out when I say M is a vowel sound, right? So an MBA graduate. Also see,
Okay.
this rule has not been made to confuse the students. It has been made to basically aid fluency. When I say a MBA graduate, तो थोड़ा सा pause करना पड़ता है मुझे. But when I say an MBA graduate, I can just say it in one single flow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that aids in fluency, and that is why these rules have been made, right? Now, fourth one बताइए.
and
An
HRD
HRD
manager.
manager,
And
yes,
HRD
because a sound is coming when I say H, right? Fifth का मैंने आंसर खुद ही दे दिया है. A one bedroom
A
flat.
one bedroom.
An
Yeah,
hour.
oh,
An hour.
an hour.
An hour.
An hour.
An hour. Okay, very good. All right, just 2 minutes and do this one now. Insert the definite article wherever required. If not required, leave it blank. Okay. Right, done.
Yes, ma'am.
First one, I learned Hindi as a second language at
The school.
At the
Nothing, ma'am.
there would be no article.
There will be no article, right?
yes, there will be no article. Why? Because
Because that is
please mute your microphones. Okay, right. So I learned Hindi as a second language at school. There will be no article required over there because the primary purpose of school is to, you know, go there and learn something. So primary purpose अगर serve हो रहा है तो उसके सामने the नहीं लगेगा, right? Now, second one, all the alumni gather at
The school.
the school once in a while, because school is not a gathering place as such. That's not the primary purpose. So we always put the in front of. Okay. Then Christians go to dash church every Sunday.
No article.
No
No
article.
article.
No article
No
because
article.
church they're going to pray if they're going every Sunday. So the primary purpose is being served. That is why no article required over there. Then every day the villagers come to
The school.
The church.
the
The
church
church.
premises because the primary purpose of praying is not being served here. Then all the inmates are advised to go to
The bed.
The bed. No
no
article.
article, no article. Go to bed at 10 p.m. as the lights will be switched off. That means go to sleep, right? So a primary purpose is being served. No article required before that.
Ma'am, it is not like written here like the primary purpose of the bed will be like to sleep, right? It is not specifically.
See,
it is
basically,
written
go to
go-
bed. See, go
Yeah.
to bed is a phrase like I told you at that time also, which means to go to sleep.
Okay.
Yes,
Uh,
right? So go to bed, and basically they're giving you all hints. They're going to switch off the lights at 10 p.m. Okay, so what are you going to do? You have to sleep, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and in any case, go to bed is a phrase which means to go to sleep.
Okay.
Then a young mother has to often get up at night as her infant might wet
The bed.
the bed frequently because that's not the primary purpose, right? Okay. Try this exercise. There are 7 questions. Options are given.
Ma'am, what is the answer of second question in the last slide?
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Right. Let's discuss the answers then. She took
An apricot.
an apricot.
An apricot.
Both
everybody
can-
agrees.
Ma'am, they,
Yes.
both
Yes.
an and the can come.
Yes, I would go with what Yash is saying, either 2 or 3, right? She took an apricot from the fruit bowl. मतलब एक apricot लिया उसने. And she took the apricot from the fruit bowl. That is also correct. The meaning slightly changes कि मतलब वो जो apricot खा रही है उसने fruit bowl से लिया है. So either 2 or 3, both can be correct. Okay. Now, second one, Vikas is learning to play
The guitar.
The guitar. Or you'll always put the in front of musical instruments, right? Sam likes to play.
Cricket. Like it's not
Yes, none of these. So
Yeah.
no article required in front of sports, right? Then Raj speaks.
None, ma'am.
None of these, right? Because again, languages के सामने आप कुछ भी article नहीं लगाओगे. Then Rakesh is
Oh.
a Sri Lankan. Then sixth one,
The
the death of the prime minister. And seventh one, I'd like a pet, but my mother does not like
None
none of these. My mother does not like cats or dogs. Okay, very good.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I had a doubt like, why did we use the in sixth sentence?
See, because we're talking about a particular prime minister and his death, right? So सिर्फ death of the prime minister नहीं use होगा क्योंकि एक particular situation की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग, है ना? इसलिए the लगेगा उसके सामने. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, as for the musical instruments,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
use but not in every situation, right? Like let's say if you have to say, please pick a guitar from all the guitars, so that would
Yeah, that's a
correct,
different situation. But when we're talking about learning to play or playing,
Yeah.
we will always use the in front of
Okay,
it, right?
okay, right. Yeah, thank you.
See, a lot of things you are not, मतलब, you have थोड़ा सा flexibility चाहिए because it depends on the situation also. Okay,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
A lot of
That's why I
usage comes
clarified.
in. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now here there are 6 sentences I've given you. I want you to find out what the errors are with respect to articles only and how you can correct it. Okay. 6 questions. Yes. Tell me what is wrong with the first sentence, or is it wrong at all?
Rather to and there will be the.
Can you repeat? I didn't understand.
The sentence will be, let me have the advice as to how to tackle this problematic situation.
The advice. Why?
It will be a specific advice.
But
और
वहाँ पे and क्यों नहीं, and का क्या problem है?
Ma'am, I think there is no error in this sentence.
Okay. अच्छा, tell me, advice जो है, is it countable or uncountable?
Uncountable.
Countable.
Countable है, one advice, two advices कर सकते हैं क्या?
No, not
नहीं कर
countable.
सकते, right? So it's an uncountable noun. So इसलिए अ या and तो उसके सामने लग ही नहीं सकता,
Yes.
right? But the कभी कभी लग सकता है. When I say the advice given to him changed my life, given by him changed my life, suppose, right? So मैं specific advice की बात कर रही हूँ. But here I'm not talking about a specific advice. I just want to say कि give me some advice, right? So let me have some advice. यहाँ पे the भी नहीं लगेगा, यश, क्योंकि specific की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ. मतलब I'm just in general sense I'm saying कि मुझे कुछ advice करो, right? So let me have some advice as to how to tackle this problematic situation. So and हटा के वहाँ पे mostly you'll have to put some. Okay, or I can say let me have a piece of advice, क्योंकि piece is countable, right? Okay, so let me have a piece of advice as to how to tackle this problematic situation. So अगर आपको अ डालना ही है तो उसके सामने piece of डाल दीजिए, ठीक है?
Ma'am, what if you put nothing instead of an?
Let me have advice, नहीं, कुछ तो चाहिए वहाँ पे.
Okay.
ठीक है?
So we can put like you said, like let me have some advice, like we can put like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it is like to like check the errors, like to have
Check the errors. See,
the,
point out the errors. You here see in your exams you're given options. Okay.
Yeah.
Here I have not given you options because I wanted to learn first hand. Options there, so it becomes easier, right?
Yeah.
So you have to go according to what options you get in the exam.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now second one. Please bring a tea along with some.
Please bring me some tea along
cookies.
with some.
हटाना है. We
Verb
remove
will be
here.
removed. Nothing will be there.
What will be there?
Some can be there. Like, please bring me
Bring
some
tea.
You
tea.
have to remove
We basically have to remove right? Hatana hai. So yeah, I can just say please bring tea along with some cookies. I don't need to put some in front of it. I can just say please bring tea or please bring coffee, right?
Yes.
I can put some if I want, but it's not necessary. Okay. Then third one, I've just received an information about the estimate profit for the year.
And will be removed.
And will be removed because again information is not it's an uncountable noun, right? So and to yeah and to आ ही नहीं सकता कभी भी information के
Can't be
सामने.
there the, like I have just received the information about the estimate profit for the year.
the डाल सकते हो but वहाँ पे जरूरत है नहीं यश. I've just received information, in general information मिली है मुझे about the estimate profit for the year, है ना? It's not really required. अगर the डाल दोगे तो गलत नहीं होगा, but it's not required.
Okay.
Okay, जब हम कब डालते बहुत specific ना, I received so the information I received from the counter was wrong, suppose. I'm just giving an example, है ना? तो वो specific बहुत specific की बात करते हैं तभी हम the लगाते हैं. Otherwise information हम general sense में use करते हैं. Yes, अनुभव कुछ बोल रहे थे आप?
I was saying.
Somebody was saying something, some girl, I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. I was saying that why are we removing an?
बेटा information countable है क्या?
But like when we say honesty, like an honest man, so then honest is also
नहीं
not
तो
count.
नहीं. See, honest जब an honest man बोलते हो आप, तो honest is an adjective. The noun over there is man. Honest is not a noun, it's an adjective beta. Honesty, I will not say an honesty is the best policy. I'll always say honesty is the best policy, right? Vedika.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the first rule that I told you was that you will never and an, that is indefinite articles will only be put in front of singular countable nouns. That is the first rule we discussed, right? So वो सबसे important है. Information is not countable. I cannot say one information, two informations नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है ना? जैसे कि a milk, one milk, two milks नहीं हो सकता. So वैसे ही this is an uncountable noun. So उसके सामने a या an तो कभी भी नहीं लग सकता. ठीक है? Vedika.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Yes, Shubham, you were saying something.
Yeah, ma'am. Can it be like I have just received whatever the information about an estimate?
नहीं, इधर हम specific बात कर रहे हैं ना, for the year, the estimate profit.
Yeah.
है ना, specific हो रहा है, इसलिए the estimate profit. There's nothing wrong. So you will not change it unless and until it is required.
Okay.
है ना? हाँ. Okay, fourth one. Don't add sugar to his coffee as he is a diabetic.
Before diabetic. As he is diabetic.
Will remove.
Why? Why will we remove?
Ma'am, because diabetic is a disease and you
Ma'am,
said.
in disease
No,
we don't use
diabetic is not a
article.
disease. No, wait. Diabetes is a disease. Diabetic is describing a person, right? Okay, diabetic is not a disease. Diabetes is a disease. Okay, so वो एक diabetic है. हिंदी में भी बोलते हैं ना, वो एक diabetic है, right? So there is nothing wrong in this sentence. It's perfectly correct. Don't add sugar to his coffee as he is a diabetic, as he is a heart patient. Okay.
मैम हिंदी में भी वो डायबिटिक ही तो बोलते हैं, एक डायबिटिक कहाँ बोलेंगे? So should be removed, I suppose.
वो एक डायबिटिक है बोल सकते हैं ना हम लोग, बोलते हैं वो, या फिर वो डायबिटिक है बोलते हैं, या फिर वो एक डायबिटिक है. This sentence is not wrong, right? So if I say he is a heart patient, will you have a problem with that?
No, ma'am, but in
नहीं
that
ना?
case we
So,
have
I mean,
patient
I
at the
cannot
end,
say,
right?
नहीं, but Tushar, I cannot say ना he is a diabetes patient. तो उसके लिए एक word है, diabetes का patient के लिए हम लोग एक noun बना दे, he is a diabetic. Diabetic is a noun which means a person suffering from diabetes. है ना? Diabetes is the name of the disease. Okay?
Yes.
So
Okay.
that is why उसके सामने a लग सकता है. So there is nothing wrong with this particular sentence. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then fifth one, the integrity is a great virtue.
Will be removed.
Integrity is a great virtue.
So the नहीं चाहिए हमको. Integrity is a great virtue because integrity is an abstract noun. Okay. Then sixth one, ever since Renaissance, so on and so forth.
The measure.
No. It has been a measure. Is it seen as a measure? Here it means the numerical sense of one. Shruti, right? So a measure is correct.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Ever since the Renaissance.
Yes, very good. So Renaissance is a particular period of history, right? So ever since the Renaissance, ever since the Second World War, okay, ever since the revolt of 1857. So जब हम particular period of history की बात करते हैं तो उसके सामने the लगेगा, ठीक है? All right, any doubts here? Is everything clear? Shall we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yeah, there are a few other things that we want to do. Now tell me, find the difference between the given expressions. Now when I say the vice chairman and vice president, and if I say the vice chairman and the vice president, what is the difference in the expressions?
The first one means that he is the vice president as well as the vice chairman.
Okay.
And the second one is for different people.
Yes, very good. So when I say the vice chairman and vice president, matlab I'm talking about only one person who holds both the posts, right? The vice chairman and vice president ka post. And when I say the vice chairman and the vice president, I'm talking about two different people. एक vice chairman है और एक vice president. ठीक है? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then second one, a black and white travel bag and a black and a white travel bag.
Ma'am, in the second sentence, these are two different bags.
Yes, one is a black in color and the other is white in color. And in the first one, I'm talking about only one bag, which is black and white in color. ठीक है? ये important है. Please, keep this in mind. Now, tell me the difference in the meaning of the following expressions in each set. Okay. So first one, देखते हैं. A few students pass the CAT with a little preparation. and few students pass the cat with little preparation. दोनों sentences correct है, meaning different हो रहा है. So I'm asking you, what is the difference? अच्छा, पहले let's discuss this कि a
Ma'am,
few.
first sentence talks about a few students passing the cat with a little preparation, but the second statement talks about students in general. They do not pass the cat with little preparation. If they prepare, if they do not prepare well, they will not pass the cat.
But so can you like explain me मतलब क्या difference हो रहा है, मतलब मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया अर्चित.
Ma'am, first is like in a positive way, and the second is in a negative.
Okay, good. I got it, Archit. ठीक है. So let's.
Few means not many, and a few means some.
Yes, very good. So both Archit and Mallika, both of you are right. So see, when I say a few, it has a positive meaning. It means some, right? So if I say a few students were present, and if I say few students were present, so few means hardly any, मतलब almost none, right? So like Archit said, a few has a positive connotation and few has a negative, right? In the same way, we look over here, a little and little. So a little मतलब थोड़ा सा, okay, and little means hardly any or none, no preparation. So the first sentence has a positive meaning. When I say a few students pass the cat with a little preparation, that means a small number do pass with thoda sa, with a when they do some preparation. And if few students pass the cat with little preparation, that means hardly any student passes the cat with no preparation. That means they need to prepare, right? Okay. So in the same way, few foreigners gain mastery over the Japanese language and a few foreigners gain mastery over the Japanese language. The difference would be yes.
Like very few very few foreigners. The first sentence will be very few foreigners gain mastery over the Japanese language.
It means hardly any.
Yeah,
none.
hardly any. Yeah.
Hardly any or none. Whereas, so it has a negative meaning. Whereas, in the a few foreigners, when I say that some foreigners do gain mastery over Japanese language, right? It has a slightly positive connotation. Then the doctor declared that there was a little scope of recovery for the patient, and the doctor declared that there was little scope of recovery for the patient.
A little scope, we have a positive sense.
Yes, right. So the doctor is a little positive in the first sentence. When he says a little scope, that means which chances hain uski recovery ke. Whereas in the second sentence, the chances of his recovery are very remote. Okay, yeah, hardly has any chance or hardly any scope of recovery. ठीक है ना? So ये please याद रखिएगा, a few and a few, little and a little, right? These are important. Okay, so we come to the end of our articles, right? Okay, now we go on to the next topic that I said we will be discussing, that is nouns and pronouns, right? So let's quickly go through this. So tell me, what are nouns? We've all done it in school.
Name of a person, place, or anything.
Name, place, animal.
Okay, name of a person, place, animal, or thing, right? So everything around us is basically a noun. So if I say pen, paper, pencil, light, fan, AC, laptop, remote, whatever. Okay, everything around us is a noun because it's a name of a person, place, animal, or thing. Now, then these nouns can be basically, like we've seen while we were doing articles, we've seen the certain classification. So one classification is of countable and uncountable nouns. So these nouns can be divided into two categories: countable, those which we can count on our fingers, and the others are the uncountable nouns, which we cannot count on our fingers, right? So you need another measure for it. Okay, so a classification to yeah. Then the second classification is basically 4 types, right? So you have common noun, proper noun, abstract noun, and collective noun, right? So this is the other classification of nouns. So before going ahead, I hope you've all heard of these types of nouns.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So let me just share my screen with all of you again. right? So nouns and pronouns. So the types of nouns, like I said, common noun. So can you give me an example of a common noun?
Trees, flowers, cars.
Yes, all these are common. Girls, students, boys, right? Pen, paper, trees, flowers, like you said, these are all common nouns. A name given in common to things belonging to the same class, right? Or things that are of the same type. But if I give a flower a name, I call it a rose or a lily or a tulip, then it becomes a proper noun. If I give a girl a name like Monica or Anubha, then basically it becomes a proper noun. City is common noun, but if I give it a name like Delhi, Nagpur, Mumbai, so these are all proper nouns, right? Proper nouns will always begin with a capital letter. Please remember that always, right? Then third, you have now collective noun. Collective noun is name given to a collection of things, right? So if I say a bouquet of flowers, so bouquet is a collective noun, flowers is common noun. If I say a pride of lions, so a group of lions is called as the pride of lions, right? So pride is a collective noun and lions becomes the common noun, right? Jury, army, family, these are all collective nouns, right? And fourth, you have abstract noun, which I've already explained, something that you cannot, something which is not tangible, which you cannot hold, right? So love, friendship, integrity, wisdom, honesty, these are all abstract nouns. Okay? The other classification, like I told you, was countable and uncountable nouns. All right, so this classification is clear to everybody?
Yes,
Yes.
All right, so let's do a short exercise then. It says underline the nouns and state their types. So countable, uncountable nahi batana hai aapko. I want you to tell me whether they are common nouns, proper nouns, abstract nouns or collective nouns, right? So 10 sentences and one sentence will have more than one noun. Okay. So just do this quickly. Right. Shall we discuss the answers? So first one, can you tell me?
Ashoka being a proper noun.
King,
Ashoka, yes.
King is a common noun.
King is common. All right. In the second one,
wisdom is abstract.
Wisdom is abstract.
Strength is
wisdom and strength, both are abstract nouns. Okay, good. Then third one,
Group
Group
consists
is
like
a
it will be collective.
collective noun.
group will be collective. Okay.
Students
Then
will be common noun.
students will be common noun. And
Science stream.
stream will also be a common noun,
Common.
right? The jury reserved its verdict.
Jury will
what-
be collective.
Ma'am, in third sentence, when science stream, it is talking specific stream. So science will be proper noun, I think.
Science is basically describing the stream over here, right?
Okay, ma'am.
है ना? Okay. So jury in the fourth one, jury would be
Collective.
collective and verdict
Abstract.
Abstract.
abstract. Okay. Then the fifth one, the farmer stores grain in the silo.
Farmer
Farmer.
will be common.
Common noun.
Farmer is common. Then
Grain is uncollectible.
नहीं, collective नहीं होगा. Grain is also common noun and
Common
silo
noun.
is also common noun.
Common
Okay.
noun.
Ma'am, how is
Yes.
verdict a abstract noun?
What do you think it is?
It should be common noun.
Okay. Common noun. How? Can you explain?
Ma'am, verdict simply means Tesla, right?
Yes.
So ma'am, it can be a common noun.
How, beta? Can you see it? Can you hold it? Is it something which is tangible जिसको आप पकड़ सकते हैं, जैसे कि भी आप पेन को एक पकड़ सकते हो, तो आप क्या वर्डिक्ट को पकड़ सकते हो?
No ma'am, no. Got it.
नहीं, है ना? So it's an abstract noun. ठीक है?
Okay ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So we were on question number 6, I think.
Yeah.
So tell me, sixth में क्या क्या?
Saint Helena will be proper
Saint
noun.
Helena is proper noun. Yes.
Island will be
Common.
yeah.
And Atlantic Ocean will be proper. Okay. Then seventh one.
Hilton, proper noun.
Hilton is proper noun.
Hong Kong is proper noun.
Proper noun.
Hong Kong is proper noun. Okay. Summer will also be a noun, right? But उसको हम common noun बोलेंगे. ठीक है? Because it's a name given in to all days having particular type of temperature. तो उसको हम लोग उसको common noun ही consider करेंगे. ठीक है?
Ma'am.
Ma'am, it can't be collective then. Like
नहीं collective नहीं consider करते उसको.
Ma'am.
हाँ.
Ma'am,
Yes.
summer is a season, right?
Yeah.
So ma'am, a season can be a common noun, and summer can be a proper noun.
It is a common noun. क्योंकि अपन कभी भी उसको कैपिटल उसमें लिखना कंपलसरी नहीं होता है, राइट? प्रॉपर नाउन विल ऑलवेज बी रिटन इन कैपिटल.
Yes.
ठीक है? Right. Eighth one. A plague of locusts destroyed the farm.
a plague of locusts is collective noun.
हाँ, so plague is collective noun. Locust is common. ठीक है? And farm is also common. So just like I say, a bouquet of flowers, right? So bouquet collective हो जाता है, flowers common होता है ना वैसे. So ये locust जो होता है, pest होता है basically, right? It's the name of a pest. So a plague of locusts. So plague is collective, locust is common, farm is common. And ninth one.
Mount Everest is proper. Mountain is common, and Himalaya is proper.
Is proper. Okay, very good. So Mount Everest and Himalayas are proper. Mountain is common. ठीक है. Then the last one.
Captain is common.
Okay.
Crew is collective.
Yes.
Sailors.
Sailors is common.
Yeah. Ship is common.
Deck is also common. Okay. So here you had captain common, crew was collective, and then sailors, deck, and ship all common. ठीक है? All right. Let's move
I
on.
have a doubt.
Yeah. Tell me.
Ma'am, you said students here is common.
Yeah.
Ma'am, but countable because we can count the students and it is also given 50 students.
हाँ.
So why
So-
not it is countable?
It is countable. Who said it's not?
Ma'am, you said it is common, students.
But students is so there are two different classifications, right, Vedika? So first classification में अपन 4 कर सकते हैं. The second classification is countable and uncountable nouns. They're different, right? So you can be a common noun. So boy is also a common noun, but it is countable now. Vedika.
I've got it.
आप दोनों क्लासिफिकेशंस तो कंफ्यूज मत करो, मिक्स मत करो, ठीक है ना? दो अलग अलग क्लासिफिकेशन है. एक क्लासिफिकेशन जो हम कर सकते हैं वो काउंटेबल अनकाउंटेबल वाला कर सकते हैं, राइट? दैट इज इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ ये the other classification, right? And then you have the other classification of common, proper, abstract and collective nouns, right? वो अलग classification हो गया, ठीक है? Yeah. ठीक है, let's move on. Now, so as far as nouns are concerned, from the examination point of view, the thing that you need to look out is for the possessive case, right? Now, a lot of students make mistakes here, and I do not blame them, because we Indians, all of us as Indians, have basically messed up the English language big time, okay? And I'll explain how. I'll just get an idea of whether you know this or not, right? So, if I say boy's book, boy means one, right? उसमें मैंने apostrophe s लगा दिया, तो मतलब क्या हो गया? अगर हिंदी में मैं इसे ट्रांसलेट करूंगी तो लड़के की किताब, right? So in the same way, if I want to say लड़कों की किताब, how will I write?
The apostrophe will come after s.
Yes. Very good. So I'm glad that you know this, right? Because most of the students don't know this. Now, if I want to say boys hostel, how will I write that?
Apostrophe will be after s.
Yes, very good. So boys hostel, BOYS apostrophe and then hostel. So now, but whenever I'm going, whenever I'm driving on the road and I look around और कहीं पे भी girls hostel या boys hostel रहता है, तो वहाँ पे कहीं पे भी apostrophe नहीं रहता. या तो फिर BOY, ये first वाला BOY apostrophe s hostel, मतलब एक ही लड़के का hostel है, या फिर boys hostel, मतलब लड़के hostel, या girls hostel, ladkiyan hostel. So there's no possession, right? So most of the students, I'm glad that in this batch I have found a few who know the answer to this particular question, do not know about this. S के बाद में apostrophe सिर्फ लगता है, and we do not put another s over here, right? Now the reason for that is, अगर मैं यहाँ पे boys लड़के लड़कों का hostel करना है हमको, लड़के एक लड़के का तो hostel नहीं हो सकता है. So now if I put apostrophe s over here, what will happen is when I speak, I'll have to say boys' hostel, right? So to avoid that hissing sound, what happens is that any word which ends with an s or a z, to avoid the hissing sound, I will not put apostrophe s, I will just put an apostrophe. Okay? So there is a very famous poet, Keats. His name ends with an s. So now if I want to say Keats ki kavitaएं, so I cannot say Keats's poems. I will just say Keats' poems, but while writing, I will write K-E-A-T-S and just an apostrophe, no s again. Okay? Is this clear? This is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes,
All right. Now, for example, I say for goodness sake. I will not say for goodness's sake. For goodness sake, just an apostrophe, no apostrophe s. But children's book, because children is already plural, so usme apostrophe s lagega. Okay, now, whenever you have two people and they both collectively own something or have something, I will not put apostrophe s in front of both their names, right? So I will not say Kareem's and say Salim's bakery. I'll just say Kareem and Salim's bakery. So जो बाद में जिसका नाम लिखा हुआ है उसमें ही सिर्फ apostrophe s लगना है, ठीक है? Then William and Mary's daughter. So I will not say William's and Mary's daughter. I'll just say William and Mary's daughter या Mary and William's daughter. So बाद में जिसका नाम है उसमें सिर्फ apostrophe s लगा दीजिए, ठीक है? Inanimate objects में कभी भी आप apostrophe s नहीं लगाओगे, तो the table's leg नहीं बोलेंगे, the leg of the table. Always, okay? The cover of the book. The book's cover is incorrect English, okay? And then if I say she has gone to the baker's, I don't need to put the word shop. It's understood. Baker's matlab baker's shop, okay? Or to the bakery rather. Then tonight I'm going to my uncle's. So uncle's means uncle's house. I do not have to necessarily write house. It's understood. Okay? Clear so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Yeah.
if you write uncle's house, so then it's wrong.
What, Charya?
Ma'am, if you write uncle's house, then it's wrong.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. But अगर किसी ने सिर्फ I'm going to my uncle's, तो it's understood कि वो house गई है. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि वो लिखे.
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ. Yes. Shubham, you were saying something?
ma'am, in the fourth sentence, why it is like children's apostrophe S? Then books.
So what should it be?
Like why it's not like apostrophe after the S?
Because children's कुछ word ही नहीं होता है ना शुभम. Child
Okay.
is singular and children is plural, right?
Yeah, okay.
Na? So
Yeah.
children's is not a word. So
Okay.
I will say children's only when I put apostrophe S. Otherwise, I will not say children's. है ना?
Yeah.
ठीक है? Right. So this is all we need to know about nouns. So we,
Can
हाँ.
you please explain the sentence leg of the table and cover of the book?
जो inanimate non-living things रहती हैं बेटा, उसको आप उसके साथ में ना आप the books cover नहीं बोलोगे आप. Are you getting it? The books cover नहीं बोलोगे आप, cover of the book बोलोगे, or the leg of the table's leg नहीं बोलोगे. You have to say the leg of the table. You do not put apostrophe S with these inanimate things, non-living things.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है? All right, so let's move on to the next topic, which is pronouns, right? Now, what are pronouns?
Words that replace nouns.
Okay, like he, she, it, I, you, we, they, them, right? Now, why do we use pronouns? Because if I say Amit is absent because Amit is not well, Amit will join tomorrow, right? So it becomes very monotonous. So what do I say? Amit is absent, he's not well, he will join from tomorrow, okay? Now, again, in the examination, you should know how to identify pronouns. They will not ask you कि कौन सा type का pronoun है ये, but you need to be able to identify pronouns. And also when we do other rules and other topics like subject verb agreement and all, so in that you will come across कि okay, indefinite pronoun रहेगा तो singular verb होना चाहिए, or whatever it is, right? या distributive pronoun रहेगा तो singular verb होना चाहिए. So at that time you just need to know the terminology. Okay, you need to know कि what is indefinite pronoun, because otherwise you will not be able to understand the rule. Okay, so that is why we will see what are the different types of pronouns today, and you should be able to basically recognize them. That is the main thing, right? So pronouns, so first type, personal pronouns. So I, you, he, she, me, it, they, them, him, we, these are all personal pronouns. Okay, second is possessive pronouns, right? So this house is mine. If I say this house is yours, this house is ours, this house is theirs, this house is his, this house is hers. So this is showing possession. So instead of using somebody's name, I'm using mine, yours, ours, theirs, his or hers. So therefore they are called as possessive pronouns. Okay, आप देखोगे कि हर एक में they all end with my नहीं लिखा है, my adjective हो जाता है. That I'll explain later. Okay, mine will always be a possessive pronoun. Yours with an S, ours, theirs, his, and hers. Okay. Now, tell me what is the difference between IT apostrophe S and ITS. This is again important from the examination point of view.
IT apostrophe S is it is, and ITS is its.
Can you repeat, Vedika? आपकी आवाज break हो गई थी. I couldn't hear you.
Ma'am, IT apostrophe S is it is, whereas ITS is its.
हाँ, so
like,
what does that mean?
Like it's my book. That वो book मेरी है.
तो कौन सा होगा वो? ITS ही रहेगा. IT apostrophe S होगा ना, तो it is my book.
Ma'am, I was saying it's my book, like in that way. Ma'am, in a different way, I was saying
Okay, what you are saying, Vedika, what you've said about IT apostrophe S वो correct है, लेकिन जो आप ITS के लिए example दे रहे हो, वो IT apostrophe S के example दे रहे हो आप, है ना? Yes, Navya, you want to say something?
Ma'am, isn't ITS wrong? It is always supposed to be IT apostrophe S.
No. Both of them are correct, but they have different meanings.
Can be like
I mean, it can be like, let's
animal.
talk about the species and its characteristics. So we use its then. ITS.
Nahi.
ITS
first
don't
one
call-
is
Like Shruti, you were saying something.
I was saying like we can use it's in a sentence like the lion was in its cage, something like that.
हाँ, तो which it's?
ITS.
ITS without the apostrophe,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So what does it mean over there? Uska ya uski, if you can write to show possession.
Belongs to.
Yes, very good. So ये बहुत important है because ये बहुत again common mistake which happens. So IT apostrophe S. So English is a funny language. Okay, apostrophe S usually possession show करने के लिए use किया जाता है. But over here, IT apostrophe S is a contraction of it is. Okay, and ITS is a possessive pronoun which basically means this belongs to, right? So for example, the like Shruti said, the lion is in its in its den, ना? उसका या उसकी जब meaning होता है तो ITS लगाते हैं without the apostrophe, right? So this is my pen. Its nib is broken. Its nib is मतलब उसका या उसकी nib जो है वो it's broken, right? So that is the main difference over here. So now this basically comes from the French language. The French are basically lazy people. So in French also, whenever there is a vowel, they will omit it, they will not write it, but they need to show कि यहाँ पे vowel आता है तो वहाँ पे वो apostrophe डाल देते हैं. ठीक है ना? So ये वहीं से आया है. So if I say it's hot today, it basically means it is IT apostrophe S. Okay. This is my pencil and its nib is broken. So it's IT, उसका या उसकी जब बोल रहे हैं हम लोग तो फिर to show possession, then ITS without the apostrophe. All right. ठीक है, so far clear?
Yes.
All right. Next one is you have reflexive pronouns. Reflexive, why are they? So myself, yourself, herself, these are all called as reflexive pronouns. Why are they called as reflexive pronouns? Because the doer of the action and the receiver of the action is the same. So basically the action is reflecting back to the doer. That is what we're saying, right? So I cut myself. So किसने cut किया? मैंने cut किया. किसको किया? खुद को किया, right? So the action is reflecting back. You don't need to know the names of the pronouns. You should just know that myself is a pronoun. Okay? You will hurt yourself. It's a reflexive pronoun again. Now, yehi myself, yourself, herself can sometimes be, they can, if they're used differently, then they become emphatic pronouns, right? So emphatic pronouns means they're trying to give emphasis. अगर मैंने आपको हिंदी में दो sentences दिए, president ने मुझे medal दिया और president ने खुद मुझे medal दिया. So there's a difference in meaning in both the sentences?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the difference?
President gave me the medal. The president self gave me the medal.
So in the second one, I want to emphasize कि wow, look at it, the president ने दिया मुझे medal, right? Or if I say I went to receive him, so normal 7. I myself went to receive. So I want to give emphasis to the fact कि मैं खुद गई, right? So when it's myself, yourself are used like that, then they become emphatic pronouns, right? So I myself went to receive him. The president himself gave him the medal. Okay? Now, demonstrative pronouns, they point out the objects that they're referring to, right? So this, that, these, those, they are demonstrative. They're called as demonstrative pronouns. So this is my house. Okay? Then indefinite pronouns, ये बहुत important category है क्योंकि ये rules में आता है. ठीक है? So indefinite pronouns is when I'm not talking about anybody in particular. So everyone, someone, everybody, one, anyone, anybody, all, some, none. These are all indefinite pronouns. Okay? Distributive pronouns, they refer to persons or things one at a time. So each, every, either, and neither. These are called as distributive pronouns. Each of the boys gets a prize. Either of you can go. Okay. Then relative pronouns, who, that, which, whom, whose. So this is the student who comes late every day, right? So who is basically referring to the student. So it's therefore it's called as a relative pronoun. Now, who is used for persons and animals, and which is used for non-living things and animals, right? Now, yehi who, whose, whom, what jo hai, agar if it is used to ask a question, then it becomes an interrogative pronoun. So, who gave you that book? Whose is this book? Whom did you see? What is that? These are all interrogative pronouns. Okay? Is this clear?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Do
Ask
we
me.
still use whom?
When do we use who and when do we use whom? I'll be discussing that in the next slide. Okay. All right. Yahan tak clear hai na?
Yes.
All right. Now, one of the main things that when we are looking, so sentence correction jab hum karte hain exam mein, so one of the main things when you have to look out for, yes? Somebody wants to say something? Okay. All right. Now, I hope everybody is settled, right? So, whenever you're looking out for errors, right? Pronoun errors. So the main thing with respect to pronouns is that you have to make sure that there is an agreement between the pronoun and its antecedent. Now, what do you mean by antecedent? Antecedent means the noun that the pronoun is replacing. So the example I gave you, that Amit is absent because he is not well. So he the pronoun ho gaya. Antecedent kya hai? Amit. Okay, क्योंकि Amit को replace कर रहा है he, right? Now, when I say that there has to be an agreement between the pronoun and its antecedent, it basically means कि Amit, for example, singular है. So the pronoun replacing it should also be singular. He होना चाहिए, है ना? And Amit is a masculine, so therefore I need to have a pronoun which is masculine in gender. Right, so I cannot say Amit is absent or she is not well, because Amit is absent because he is not well, because Amit is singular and it is it's masculine. So the pronoun replacing here should also be singular and masculine. Okay, so this is the basic rule that you have to remember when you are looking out for pronoun errors. Okay, now let's look at this table that I've got.
Ma'am, just for these terms, third person pronouns are also starting to be used. So isn't this rule changing a bit with time?
Navya, abhi tak ye to kuch as such hua nahi hai, right? So what they do is, if you are being, if you want to be gender sensitive, then you turn everything plural. So abhi tak ye, in fact, when we do subject verb agreement, I'll tell you there are a few rules, okay, which are like so old, in which you have to use only singular pronouns and only masculine. You cannot use feminine. मतलब आपको he use करना पड़ेगा. आप she नहीं use कर सकते हो, because it's such an old rule. Okay, and then people started having a problem कि why should it be he? Why not she? Because gender equality or whatever. Yeah. So then they said that if you have a problem, then you make everything plural. So he ko आप then make everything, the verb, everything turn it into plural. So they them. Yeah. So I don't think that with this changing time, I don't think there's going to be a change in the rule. I don't know if it in the future it might happen, but then if you want to be politically correct, then you just change everything into plural. This is in your day-to-day life, right? But from the examination point of view, you stick to what is there. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so now let's look at this table that I've got for you over here. Okay, it's important to understand this to be able to understand what we're going to be doing next. Okay, now the pronouns hai, they are basically either in the nominative case. Nominative basically means subjective, or they can be in the objective case, right? Now, objective case means that whenever you have to use a pronoun as an object, it should be from this side of the table. Whenever you want to use a pronoun as a subject, then it has to be from this side of the table, right? So, for example, if I say, I gave them a party, right? So because the subject is I, and them is I gave them a party, right? So I gave they a party to nahi ho sakta, because them, they're the receiver, they're the object, right? So the objective case mein jo apne pronoun hai, hum wo use karenge. Basic thing ye hai, right? All right, and then of course यहाँ पे possessive and reflexive and वो सब दिया हुआ है. Now main reason why I'm showing you this is because of this relative pronoun who, whom, and whose, and the question which Shruti asked, how do we know when to use who and when to use who? Okay, now whenever there is a I give a very simple example, right? Now this is the student who comes late every day. Okay, now मुझे पता है कि यहाँ पे who लग रहा है, but अगर मैं उसको वहाँ पे blank कर देती हूँ, this is the student dash comes late every day, or who comes late every day. Now I ask myself who comes late every day. ये sentence में तो मुझे क्या आंसर मिलेगा? Who comes late every day? See, listen to the sentence carefully. This is the student who comes late every day.
That student.
Student. Answer. So I ask the question, who comes late every day? I say the student comes late every day. And if I have to use a pronoun, what will I say? I'll say he or she comes late every day. Yes? Anna?
Yes,
so whenever you're in doubt, always ask a question. कि who comes late or who, आप ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछो, उसका आंसर आपको सेंटेंस में मिलेगा, and then you try to replace it with a pronoun. So either आप he she से replace कर पाओगे या फिर him or her से replace कर पाओगे. अगर he or she से replace हो रहा है वो, तो then it's in the nominative case, so then it would be who. And if you're replacing it with him or her, that means it is in the objective case, then it would be whom. Okay, now we will look at a particular example and then you'll understand. Wait, right. Now let's look at this question number 6 over here. Gautam is a man dash is honest. Now I don't know यहाँ पे who आएगा कि whom आएगा. So I ask the question, suppose who is honest? What is the answer? Gautam is honest, है ना? तो या फिर I can say कि he is honest. I cannot say him is honest. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
मेरे को ये this is from the subjective side of the table. I've got the answer, so I will write over here who will be the answer, right? Then there has to be some more. Yeah, the man dash I knew and trusted stopped by with a picnic basket. Okay, so now who did I know and trust? I trusted the man. So I said I trusted he तो नहीं होगा ना? I trusted him. Now him is in the objective case. So when I get an answer from the objective side of the table, I will mark whom. Is this clear?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
in the recent scenario, we usually see that whom has become redundant. Like in the news.
Nay. See, yes, what you're saying is in our day-to-day lives, yes, people have stopped using whom, but obviously from the, if you want to be grammatically correct, you will use whom, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, another thing, whenever there is a preposition के बाद में हमेशा whom ही आएगा. To whom are you referring? ठीक है, to who are you referring नहीं होगा. If there is a preposition like to या for या with, ठीक है ना, तो उसके बाद में हमेशा whom आएगा. All right? Okay. Now another thing. Whenever there is a to be verb कौन से होते हैं? Is, am, are, was, were, right? They will always be followed by the nominative case. So like you have all these knock knock who's there wale jokes, right? So you say knock knock who's there, answer आता है it's me. But actually वो acceptable है, colloquially it's acceptable, but grammatically it is wrong. It should be it is I. Okay, so जब भी it is रहता है तो उसके बाद में जो आप pronoun use करोगे, it always has to be from the nominative case, not from the objective case. ठीक है? It is she who is doing all the work. It is her who is doing all the work नहीं होगा. ठीक है? It has to be from the nominatives. So this table is really important. So take a screenshot of it if you want. Okay? Or you can find it in any grammar book. All right. Another thing that is very important from pronouns point of view is the comparisons, right? So she is taller than him, she is taller than he. Which one is correct?
First one.
First one.
Okay, so normal spoken language mein first one is correct, but grammatically it should be the second one. She is taller than he is actually the complete sentence, but nobody says it. Okay, it is, while you're speaking, it is perfectly correct to say she is taller than him, but grammatically it is wrong. It would always be she is taller than he. And मतलब is understood होता है, बोलते नहीं है. ठीक है? In the same way, we scored as many goals as they, or we scored as many goals as them.
Ma'am, first one.
First one.
Yes, we scored as many goals as they did. Okay, वो did हम लोग बोलते नहीं है, इसीलिए वो हमको incorrect लगता है, but that is the grammatically correct option, right? Can you sing as well as them, or can you sing as well as they?
As well as them.
नहीं,
As well as they.
as they do. Can you sing as well as they do? Okay, so it would be the second option here. Now, the population of India is greater than the US, and the population of India is greater than that of the US. Which
Ma'am,
one is
second one, because population is being compared.
Yes. So in the first one, what's happening? I'm comparing the population of India to the US. So I cannot compare the population to a country. I have to compare the population of one country to the population of another country, right? So either I can say the population of India is greater than the population of the US. बहुत लंबा हो जाता है. So what do? I just put that over here. That, because population is singular, इसलिए हम that डालते हैं, right? Now, the milkshakes at Hershey's are better than McDonald's, or the milkshakes at Hershey's are better than those at McDonald's?
Second one.
Second one, yes. Because in the first one, I'm comparing the milkshakes to McDonald's, which doesn't make sense. I have to compare the milkshakes of Hershey's to those at McDonald's. So now those, यहाँ पे हमने that के बदले में those use किया है because milkshakes is plural. That is why. Okay. The people of my office are cleverer than other offices, or the people of my office are cleverer than those of other offices?
Second one.
Second.
The second one, because I want to compare the people of my office to the people of other offices, right? In the first one, I'm comparing people to offices, which is incorrect. All right. Now, we have very little time left, but just do these 9 questions quickly. We've already done the first and the 6th one, right? So leave those two. Right. So let's look at the second one. One has to see it dash in order to fully appreciate it. Or would it be himself or oneself? I forgot to write the options here.
Oneself.
One has to see it oneself in order to fully appreciate it. Right. Neither the man nor the women have received dash invitations today.
Their
their invitation. Yes, very good. I must convey the information that it is dash who can be relied on. It is I. Yes, it is I who can be relied on. Very good. My sister Julie and
Myself.
no.
I
I have been
going
going
to church since childhood, right? Myself क्यों use होगा बेटा? Myself, I told you, दो ही situation में कई बार so you know interviews वगैरह होता है, so if you ask, okay, can you introduce yourself? So they say myself so and so. But myself, like I said, it can be used only in two situations: when the action is coming back to the doer, which is not happening here, and if you want to give emphasis, right? So emphasis भी नहीं देना चाह रहे हो इधर. So it will be my sister Julie and I have been going to church since childhood. Okay. Then 7th one, she and I saw the service. Yes, because subjective case चाहिए हमको यहाँ पे. Malini scolded me for the mistake. The teacher said, I know it was it was I who insisted to take this test. First of all, I said it was, right? To be verb आ गया है, तो उसके बाद में subjective case में ही रहेगा वहाँ पे, या nominative case में. So, and in any case, if you look at the second part of the sentence, it was I who insisted that you take this test. So either again, I is the subject. I insisted that you take this test, right? Not me. Me insisted you take this test is wrong, right? So it was I. Okay. So time's up. So we end the class here today. Okay. And we will continue with the other grammar topics in the next class, right? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll end the class today.
I'm going to take offline classes.
No, because I don't stay in Delhi, right? So I'll be taking only online classes.
But ma'am, frequency of your classes is very low, so I was asking.
So you know, you need to contact the management for that. I basically just take the classes when they give me.
Yeah,
Right?
I have raised a ticket. Right now, I have raised a ticket.
Okay, so let's see what they respond, right? It's not in my hands.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Anything else? Anybody? Otherwise,
Ma'am,
we'll
can
call
we,
it a day.
ma'am, can we get
Yeah.
some
Yes,
like,
Shubham.
yeah, can we get some type of PDF or study material for this type of like rules and everything in the grammar section
I
from your
think
side?
in the no, in the worksheets that you've gotten in your learning resources, I believe they have given you this in detail.
Okay.
Something to that effect. Just go through it, Shubham, right before the next class, and let me know. Okay.
So it will be like the class wise, like.
No, see, I think the study material that they have given is slightly different, but the topics are the same, right? I'm just taking it in a different sequence.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you just open, I think there are 4 sheets that are given to you in your learning resources. Just open them. तो पहले शुरू में तो शायद exercises हैं, and बाद में I think they've given you some theory. They've given you some theory in which they've explained these rules. I'm not sure. I haven't seen them, right? But I believe that they are there.
Okay, so we okay, so can you like please check it if it is feasible with you, can you check it in the next class, and we can you can tell us like it is good, or otherwise you can provide us like your rules
and see, rules are going to be the same, Shubham, everywhere, है ना? तो उसमें भी I will also go through it and I'll just check it. Otherwise, you know what, the best which every student should have, okay, is Wren and Martin. Wren and Martin, I'm sure you've heard of this grammar book. Wren and Martin school में prescribed रहती है.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so everybody should have Wren and Martin, okay? Because I mean, I still have my Wren and Martin, and whenever I have a doubt in grammar, I still refer to it. And basically, उससे अच्छी grammar book कोई है ही नहीं, right, Shubham? So just buy one Wren and Martin. उसके साथ में answer key की भी book अलग से आती है. You buy that also. It's available, I believe, on Amazon, and it is, I mean, it is, I think, prescribed the world over, the best grammar book ever. right?
Okay.
And whatever doubts you have, and it has lots of exercises. Even for example, for prepositions, when I will be dealing with prepositions in the next class, I always tell my students ki please take a, buy a copy of Wren and Martin, because see, prepositions are something that you cannot teach. They're all usage based. Okay, so the more you practice, the better you get at it. So I always tell everybody that, if you can get hold of Wren and Martin and solve all the questions of prepositions from that book, you will be set, because it has a comprehensive exercise on prepositions.
Okay.
है so definitely get that book, Shubham. Then you will not need anything. कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए फिर आपको. ठीक है? Yeah. Anything else? All right, then I'll see you in the next class then. Okay, bye bye.
Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hello. Ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, so I missed actually the first half an hour. Like, so what have you taught? Like, the topics, can you tell me?
I just started with articles, Shubham.
Okay, okay.
है ना?
Yeah.
ठीक है? All right. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye bye.